We'll kick off this video with the thing that gave Mike the biggest headache, joining Ikea benchtops. It turns out one bench wasn't quite long enough for the wet area, so we had to join two. Sounds simple? Yeah, nah. After 3 attempts and 3 bench tops, Mike finally got it done. I wasn't sure what to leave in the video, but one thing's for certain, Mike is now a self-proclaimed expert. So if you have any questions, he said to tell you, please don't hesitate to ask someone else.
Okay, I hope this is the last sanding. I did it like 4 or 5 times already. I'm over it. But every time I sand and paint, I've back dust in it. And I don't like that. The good thing is that the joint is pretty perfect. I mean, as good as it gets, as good as I can do it. Other people might be able to do it better. I think it's pretty good. So, the biggest issue with the workbench was the first bench had a different color than this one. So, what I should have done is unpacking all workbenches, put them next to each other in light, and match the color. If you have a workbench made out of one piece, doesn't matter. If you join them up like this, you should put all that you can match the colors before you cut this one in, or the sink, or before you cut anything. So, and that's what I should have done, but I didn't. I cut this first, I cut the bloody sink out, and I thought if I sand it, I can color match it somehow, which doesn't work. So, the first 2 benches gone in the bin. Expensive experience, high learning curve, but we wouldn't be happy. It really looked bad. Before you cut these holes in, for the hut or for the sink, make sure you are happy with the cut where it joins. It's not just that it joins here, it's also that you have one line. I had one cut and looked nice, and then I checked the straight and I had like salt, so it was crap. So I had to do it again. And every time you cut you usually just cut a couple of mils off, the bloody cutout for the knap just moves over more and more and more. And I mean, it wasn't too bad, but I wasn't happy. And the color didn't match anyway, so we chucked them in the bin. Here we are, 2 more workbenches. Expensive mistake. Match the colors before you start cutting. If you have to join. If you don't have to join, it doesn't matter. Okay, and sanding. And something else, don't use an orbiter sander. If you have one shake on the bench, if you have a natural timber bench, fine, you can just sand it out. But in this one, on the other ones, I had white surface, just because, they have. So, use the old-fashioned one, works fine. I painted them last night because I used already a whole liter of paint, varnish, and I put it on really thick, and then after an hour I thought, man, that's shiny. And then I looked at the tin and I accidentally bought gloss. So I went to the store today and got another tin, and that's what we put on tonight. So I'm sanding it now, preparing it all, and just before we go to bed, I smack on the layer, go to bed, so hopefully all the dust has settled by then. Okay, now I just have a brand new, clean, hopefully damp microfiber cloth and get the fine dust off. I'm just preparing for a bit later. So I'm gonna wipe over it again before I paint it. And then I just go with a really clean hands or no fingers or something. And you go over, you can feel every little dust particle which is on there. I think that's better than almost this. And if any more is laying in there tonight, I'm losing it. Or just paint it again. Okay, I will let that dry. And I'll be back in probably okay, I'll give it a go. This is a new roller, it's microfiber, a 4mm net. That means it is very thin. I used the foam one before, but I think this one is better. So I'll just give it a go. And you have to quickly start on one end, don't miss anything. And don't worry if it's too thick. It will be all good. And you have to feel when the roller is not spinning, you have, that's not good. I'm here, honey, I'm painting the... Looks good. Okay, let's see what it looked like tomorrow. Okay, next day. I think I nailed it. Still a few dust spots in it, but yeah, I'm over it. I'm happy and I'm picky. So I will be fine. But I'm going to install the sink, the tap, and we might can have our first coffee here tomorrow morning. It's time to round the edges a bit. So for silicone, I like to use these little silicone wedges. Lots of people use just pedal pop sticks. I don't. But it's okay.
Oh, that looks beautiful.
Sweet mix.
Yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm actually happy with it. So I just, in the process of installing the oven brackets, there's one in. I had to figure it out because you need to know the height of your oven, including everything. The frame of the oven is against this, and the top of the oven is underneath here. So you need, in my case, I have to have 600 mil, 60 centimeters from there under here, or under the workbench. So I'm putting these bloody brackets together, and this one, and you have figured out your height, you can put all your holes and you take it off again, might be a bit easier. And then this one goes through there, and then you just fold it down. So there you go against, and then this is bloody solid. And this is where your oven sits on. I mean, this one goes still on here, but this is fairly bright now. So, all right. So yeah, while the whole kitchen installation, it was nothing to do for Leanne, she finally found something to do. There we have it, cleaning the oven. Ikea said you have to have 20 mils on top of the rail at least, because you go in and then the cabinets sink down a bit. But we did it with less than 15, so I hooked them all up. I screwed them all together already. So here, put screws in here, there and there, and on the back coupled, so they're all together. And these are...
What do you do with them?
So there's sort of a locking mechanism. They go through this little bracket we put on before, and then you twist them halfway. And then they hold the cabinets down on that rail, on that suspension rail. And then you have these ones here, these like plastic things. Just slide them in. And done. I start to like it. This one is a bit more complicated because it's a drawer in a drawer. So I know that they go in the third hole from the top. These 3, 1, 2, 3. There's always 2 screws on the front, because I think that if you open the drawer, all the weight is hanging on the front bit of the hole. Okay? So you just they sort of pull themselves in, and then so it's a drawer in a drawer sort of thing. I saw that Ikea and I really liked it. Install the spiders. The top slider has to go 1 hole first in. And now we have a drawer in a drawer.
Oh, that's so cool.
And what I'd like to do is put a little mark and this handle. These little screws, they might move the handle. Just pierce that white coating of the drawers. gonna mark all drawers and I'm gonna put the handles on. You how to open these packs. Like a pack of peanuts. Okay, this morning Lee made me put a cover panel under here because she doesn't like seeing the holes when we sit on the table. That has the cover pins, it's just a pain in the ass to put on, but I'll do it. Also, important, always have an oil filter for your motorbike in the kitchen. You never know when you need it. You know, I had that lovely LED light strips there, and I have to obviously take them off, and I have to shorten the panel of to the cabinet depth and glue and screw, I guess.
So Mike just put the bench on the middle island, and it's not on, he just plopped it on top, and we were going to keep the length, but it looks stupid. Do you think, Mike?
Yeah. So what we're gonna do is we line it out. I'll leave it a little out because we might put the popcorn here.
Oh, the good point.
We need more PowerPoints. We're really short on power.
Mike, how many PowerPoints you put in the new kitchen?
These. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Mine's 2.
So we leave this here, so we always have a little bit spare. So we said we keep 300 wood here, so we cut about 300 off. 7, 8 of these strips means we can cut that 8 times.
Oh, wonderful. Until we're happy with the...
And yeah, so we cut a bit off and everything so long, we cut a bit more off and just glue another strip on. I think there's some more.
Yeah, good.
And
See how it looks.
There's more.
And there's more.
More coming. I think 300. We get a side panel here on anyway, so if we cut it off here,
What's that, 350 or something?
300.
I am so happy about this bench space. This is what I wanted. It's magnificent. It still needs to be varnished and put on properly. So the kitchen is getting there. There's still quite a bit to do, but it's all little sort of stuff. I'll show you. So as Mike explained, we had an issue where we measured incorrectly. So we've got this gap now, and it's okay for the bottom because we can actually buy a cupboard that goes in there, like a sauce cupboard, which is really handy. But for the top, we couldn't get, they don't sell a 200 in the glass door cupboards. So what we're going to do, Mike is going to put some shelving up there. Some nice timber shelving with pot plants or whatever, so that will be another feature. We've got the window sills that still need a final sand and varnish, and then we have to paint the window frames. And I did something really silly the other day. All of our windows in this house have got this decorative crosses on it, and I thought, oh, it'd be nice to just sit here in the morning and look out the window. And so I spent hours and hours with a hot glue gun and trying to get these crosses off. I went inside and outside on a step ladder and got all the crosses off this window here. And then we ended up with a window, which Mike said, that's just like a boring old window now. So I bought a nice little pendant to go in the middle of it, a hanging down sort of vintage sunlight catcher, which will look nice, and obviously it has to have curtains. I only did half of that window, and I quite like the look of half of it with crosses and half of it without, so that's going to stay. These cupboards are finished. Mike put the backing on them yesterday, and I just love them, and how I've organised them, which I think is pretty cool, is that cupboard there is just all for plates, and obviously the plates we use a lot, level, I can get there without a step ladder. This cupboard here is all for bowls. And this cupboard here is all for cups, including egg cups. And for that wall there, we've got a couple of shelves we're going to pick up from Ikea. They're super cute and they're for pot plants and everything. And I've been playing around with painting the tiles for this area. Oh, actually there's so many areas that need tiles. So this area here we're going to do first. So the tiles are going to go all along here, up against the stove for a splashback, and some up to about here. So the ones near the stove, we're just going to leave them plain white because they'll probably get wiped a lot. But here, I've been thinking I want to paint them, so I've been trying. So in the back of my mind, I've always thought that I'd like some hand-painted tiles for the splashback and different parts of the kitchen. And so I've been trying to paint some lemons and oranges, and I'm using this enamel paint. I'm going to make a video about this next week because I just love this paint. They're all looking a little bit different, but next week I'll really need your help because I'm going to finish them this week, but I'm not quite sure how to display them. Like, you can go half and half, you can sort of group them together, so lemon, lemon, lemon. But yeah, it's just a little bit tricky. I know that if I do all of them together, it will be too much. Or lemon, orange, lemon, or something. All this section here, that's going to have tiles as well. And I've just been playing around with little tiles. They're really cheap to play around with. They're only like 90 cents each. And I put them together, the yellow, the green and the white, and I really like them. So I think I'm going to do that for the other section. So then I thought, what flowers should I paint? And that's a wattle, what's supposed to be a wattle. And that's another Australian flower because I went to the library and I got a book on Australian flowers and plants. So I feel like I'm going to do, well, we need 1 million of these tiles to go over there, obviously with white separating them or something. But I'm going to do that, I think, just paint all different Australian flowers for that section over there. If nothing else, it'll be very unique. We're going to Ikea next weekend to pick up a bench for that one because we had to use that for our workbench, and we also need to pick up a bench for that one there. It's just cardboard at the moment. We went through a few doing this joined bench top over here, which ended up looking beautiful, and the join is like so good. Mike did an excellent job of that. We'll eventually get rid of the fridge, but it's been really handy having 2 fridges because we've had lots of mangoes. Do we have to put all the back-ends on the cupboards? When I say we, it's Mike doing all this. And we need to put all the kickboards down the bottom that seals it up to the floor, and also the finishing strips on top of the cupboards. And Mike designed this bench. We put the longer one on because we're just going to get a little stool, and that's lovely to sit there. And just a lot of fiddly pieces. There's one more pull-out cupboard that needs to be put into that gap there, and they're fabulous. They're like this. This is the dishwashing one, and this one's even wider, so that's going to have all the sauces. These island cupboards are still empty. They haven't been done for long, but I'm going to fill them up with things that I use frequently. So less steps is always an efficient kitchen. But yeah, so far I'm really loving it and I can't wait to cook. So that's where I'll leave it this week. It's been a big week, and I'll see you next week. Well, so it's in real time actually. It's Sunday and I'll be posting this video on Wednesday, and next weekend hopefully we can lay the tiles on the splash. Oh no. And in the following video, I'll put how I made these tiles, and I really would love your opinion on how best to lay them, well, how best to organise them. Mike's really great at tiling, so I've got no problem with that, but just how will they look best, you know? How many white tiles between them? Should I group them? Should I do them individually? So many decisions. Thanks so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again soon.